My review of the MGMT album, Congratulations. It was released in 2010 and produced by MGMT and Sonic Boom. So this album I still remember when it came out, and the first time I heard it. It wasn't, well, I didn't buy this album at first. I didn't get this copy until like 2020 because my brother bought it, so I just like borrowed his, and then I had it like on my iTunes for a long time, so it took me forever to get an actual CD copy of this. But it was always like an album of theirs that I listened to a ton. I'd say it's probably it's definitely my most listened to MGMT album right now. I've kind of listened to it so much that recently I haven't been listening to it as often, and I've been putting on some of their other stuff when I want to hear them. Kind of from what I remember of my first impressions of this album, I know the first time I listened to it, I didn't think I liked it as much as Oracular Spectacular, which has definitely changed now. 'Cause it's not an album that's as instantly catchy as anything on there, which I think was like they did that intentionally. And the more I listen to this, the more I can hear how it's just a very well crafted album. Like it seems like they just put a lot of work into making this a good solid album all the way through. And I think they really succeeded there. I think it's just a really, really good album all the way through. It works really well together. The album starts with It's Working, which I think is a strong opening track. It's one that I can't really think of a whole lot to say. I don't know if I found it catchy the first time I listened to it. I think that, and I kind of felt like this for a lot of the songs on this album, but I remember the first time I listened to it, not really liking the way the vocals were mixed with it, or I don't know if that's the right word, or if it's the production on it. So just something about the vocals on most of the tracks on this, the first couple times I listened to it, it made it hard for me to make out what he was saying, and so I didn't really like that. But the more I've listened to the album, the more I like how the vocals sound, and I've kind of grown to appreciate the production. But I just remember the first couple times listening to it being I'm not crazy about this because I can't really tell what he's saying. It's Working, strong opening track. The second track, Song for Dan Tracy, this one I like a lot. I think it's got interesting lyrics. I'm not somebody who cares a whole lot about lyrics, but I would say Andrew's probably one of my favorite lyricists. He just writes really interesting stuff, and it's kind of I don't always know what he's talking about, but I feel like I could know what he's talking about. It's a solid track. I think it's got some really interesting stuff going on instrumentally, and just really catchy. Third track, Someone's Missing, the shortest song on the album. This one, I remember liking this pretty quick. It almost just the whole song kind of builds up to the end. It kind of starts out this quieter and darker sounding, and I don't know if you'd call it the verses, but the first parts he's singing, and then by the end it just kind of is repeating. It feels like someone's missing, but the build to that is really cool, and then when it gets to that part, the song just kind of lets loose. The fourth track, Flash Delirium, was kind of my first favorite song on here. I wouldn't say that's my favorite song now, because I have 4 favorite songs that could be my favorite song on here. But it was one that I took a liking to early on. I kind of think I remember hearing it on the car, on the ride home when we first got this CD, and liking it. There was this really weird, trippy music video for it that I really liked and remember watching a lot when it came out. Just a cool song. It's got these different parts to it, and I think that all the different parts to it are catchy in their own way, which is really cool. And it's got interesting lyrics. So really good song, a highlight for me. Fifth track, I Found a Whistle, another one of my favorites. Really catchy. Instrumentally, it's really cool sounding. It's got the keyboards and I don't know, it's kind of quiet. It starts out kind of quiet, and then it builds to the "I Found a Whistle" part that goes on in the end. Uh, Really cool sounding song with headphones. Track Siberian Breaks is like 12 minutes long, and it took me a while to like get into this song. And I'm not really sure like why that is, thinking back, because I was definitely listening to longer songs by that point. I was a big fan of like Pink Floyd, some of their longer stuff by then, like Animals and Shining a Crazy Diamond and Echoes and stuff. So I don't know why, like, I didn't want to listen to a 12-minute song then, but for some reason, like the first couple times I listened to this album, I didn't really get into all of the songs, so then I just kind of avoided it for a long time. But then at some point, whenever I started like going through and listening to the whole album a lot, I got really into it, and now it's possibly my favorite song on the album. But like I said, there's like four that I could pick, so I don't want to definitively say it's my favorite, but it's really close. Yeah, it's a really cool song. It's got all these different parts. All of them are catchy. I think my favorite part of it, though, is like the beginning part, just a really catchy vocal melody. And then that kind of comes back up again at the end of the song. And yeah, it's just really great. Seventh track, Brian Eno. It's a catchy song. It's got some cool, like, creepy sounding instrumental stuff going on in it. And it kind of goes back and forth from like the different sections of it. Like it has one that's like really like frantic, and then it has like a slower, like more jazzy type one, and then, so it's just doing all these different things, like a lot of the songs on here. Not really that familiar with, or familiar at all, I should say, with Brian Eno, who they're writing the song about. I've never really listened to any of his stuff, which I guess I probably should, since they're fans. The eighth track, Lady Dada's Nightmare. This one's my least favorite on here, mainly just because it's an instrumental, and being an instrumental just kind of makes it the least memorable track. But it's pretty cool for what it is. I think the beginning part of it, it almost reminds me of like, I don't know, like some Brian Wilson-y, like Beach Boys-ish type of instrumental stuff. Not like the surf instrumental stuff, but like the later instrumental stuff that he did. And then by the end of it, it kind of sounds almost like a Zelda music type thing. So I don't know. It's an interesting instrumental. Interesting instrumental. Can't talk. And then the ninth and final track, Congratulations. Great closing track. This one I remember liking the first time I heard it, even though it's kind of a slower song, which for these guys, like the slower songs I wasn't as into back then. But this one, just immediately liked it, loved the lyrics, think it's a really catchy track. Great title track, great way to end the album. So yeah, Congratulations. To me, this is just like a perfect album all the way through, pretty much. Every song on it is good. Just start to finish, it flows really well. So great listen. It's not, like I said, nothing on here is immediately catchy as like the three singles off the first album, but they're all like better songs. I feel like I feel like they're songs that like more thought, more effort was put into them. These are just like, I feel like some really like well-crafted songs that like these guys really wanted to do and really wanted to make something good. So yeah, really great album. Definitely should check it out if you're interested.